Okay, this is FLP 35. We jump from the translation into the reflections right here. Kind of rather quick, but these are not bad. You just got to try to remember a couple of rules, and they won't stump you up too much. Okay, let's look at the top. It says a reflection is a transformation which flips the figure over a line or an axis, X or Y. This line is called the line of reflection, and it's one of these axes. Remember, you got an X and a Y, okay? So look at this. Example 1, triangle ABC is being reflected over the X-axis. Draw and label the image triangle A prime, B prime, and C prime. Okay? So I've already done this one for you. And what happened was, and we'll go through and write these down because you'll really be able to see what goes on when you write down the ordered pairs, or they're already written for you, I believe. Okay, so let's look. Here's the original A, B, C. If you look, A is at 1, -3, B is at 3, 0, and C is at 4, -2. Okay? When we are reflecting over the x-axis, you're going to keep the x exactly like it is, and you're going to change the sign of the y-coordinate. Okay? So look how we did this. Here's the original A. We're going to make A prime keep the x 1, but change the sign of the y to +3. Okay, B, 3, keep the x 0. Since we have a 0, we can't change any signs. You just keep it 0. And then 4, -2 turns into 4, +2. And then you take these 3 points and replot the reflection over the x-axis of A prime, B prime. I don't see my prime mark. I need to, oh, there it is. B prime, I put it right there. And C prime. Okay? It'll make more sense once you try it on your own. All right? But the key is writing these ordered pairs down. Okay? And a general rule that helps us right there, we just said it, for reflecting over the x. Keep the x, change the y. Okay? Then it says, tell me more about this figure. Is it congruent or similar? Explain how you know. It's congruent. Same size and same shape. It's just a different point on the coordinate plane. So let's jump to FLP 36. Okay? Now I think we're going to do one on our own here. Let's go with, all right, it says we're going to reflect over the y. Okay? So here's the y-axis. What we're going to do is we're going to take this triangle and flip it over this way. But you can't just slide it. That's a translation. We're going to flip it over here. So when we're going over the y, look what we do now. We're going to keep the y coordinate and change the sign of the x. Okay? Let's write down the original ordered pairs first, what we got here. A is setting at 1, -3. B is setting at 3, 0. And C is setting at 4, -2. Now, let's go find out what we've got here. Remember, we're going to keep the y, change the sign of the x, okay? Or you could say change the sign of the x first since it's first. So to do that, we're going to change the 1 to a -1, and we're going to keep the -3 exactly like it is. B prime, we're going to change that 3 to a -3, and we're going to keep the y the same as it is. On C, we're going to change that 4 to a -4, and keep the y exactly like it is. Now we can go plot this right here. Okay? So let's put A at -1, -3. Means I go left 1, down 3. Here is my A prime. Okay? B is at -3, 0. 1, 2, 3. And we don't go up or down because the y is 0. There's my B prime. And then my C is at -4, -2. Sits right here, and that's my C prime. And if I can draw this halfway straight, I'll do my best. God, it's so hard too with this slate. It's got that one crooked. Okay, if you can kind of see it, it flips. It's kind of like you fold the paper along this Y line, and it flips over there. Okay. All right, so let's look. Our general rule is we change X when we're going over the y. You always keep the one that you're reflecting over. Keep that one the same. So we would change x and keep y, okay? Let's see what note I wrote down here. It says, when translating and reflecting images, write down your ordered pairs. Use the shortcut from transformation chart to find the ordered pairs of the new images in the graph. Pretty much what we just did. All right, let's go, I think I got time. Let's do 37 on this one. I think it's just 2 reflections. It might run this one a little long, but that's okay. Let's pop through this. It says graph and connect these points. 2, 2, put it right there. 2, 6, right there. Oh, I need to label that A. Okay, this is B, and C is 6, 2. Right there. All right, let me connect these. There we go. Cool. Number 2 says reflect across the y-axis. Okay, so you should be thinking about, okay, which one do I keep and which one do I change? Remember, whichever one you're going over, that's the one you keep. So we're going to keep the y here and we're going to change the x. So let's write that right down here. Let's go. And I like writing my x first because it's the first number. I'm going to change x. And I'm going to keep y. Okay? So if you look at the ordered pairs that are setting up at the top of the page, we can go by those. Okay? So the first one's 2, 2. Let's change it to negative 2, 2. And B is 2, 6. So let's change it to negative 2, 6. And C is 6, 2. So let's change it to negative 6, 2. And now all we got to do is plot these points, and we got a reflection over the y-axis. Okay? So negative 2, positive 2 would be right here. And remember, that's A prime. Okay? B is going to set at negative 2, 6. There's my B prime. And C is going to set at negative 6, 2. Here's my C prime. So I'm going to put that over there, here, and now you can see how it's flipped over the y-axis. Cool? All right, on the next one, it says, what does it say? Reflect the original triangle across the x. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to take, this is the original one because it doesn't have any prime marks. We're going to flip it over this axis now, the x. And then we'll put double primes on these. Okay, so let's talk about this. If we're going across the x, and I'm going to get some ordered pairs written down here. If we're going across the x, remember, we're going to keep the x. Okay, so let's go keep x, change y. So if we're looking up at our ordered pair, let's call this A double prime. Okay, if we look up at our ordered pairs, 2, 2, we're going to change that to negative 2. Let's go B double prime, and that one's 2, 6, so let's change it to negative 6. And C double prime, that one's setting at 6, 2, let's change it to 6, negative 2. And then all we got to do is go up and plot those points on our coordinate plane, and we're good to go. So we got 2, negative 2, which is that right there. That's my A double prime. My B is 2, negative 6, right here. It's my B double prime. And my C is at 6, negative 2. It's my C double prime. And you'll really be able to see this when my lines are terrible, but you can see how that one's flipped across that x-axis. It's kind of like you just took your hand behind it and flipped it over the axis, pretty much what it looks like. Okay, what does it say here? It says, what do you notice about the original figure and the reflected figure? To me, it looks like, and you can write this down as a mirror image. I guess that's what reflection is. Okay, and what do you notice about the ordered pairs here? Well, it's what we did earlier. The x stayed the same, and the y, and you could call it opposite. That's what we did when we changed it. Okay, it's good to go. That was FLP 37. We don't have many more. I'll do a couple more videos and we should be done with this pretty quick. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.